The audacious nature of Muad'Dib's actions may be seen in the fact that he knew from the beginning whither he was bound. Yet, not once did he step aside from that path. He put it clearly when he said, "I tell you that I come now to my time of testing, when it shall be shown that I am the ultimate servant." Thus, he weaves all into one, that both friend and foe may worship him. It is for this reason, and this reason only, that his apostles prayed, "Lord, save us from our other paths which Muad'Dib covered with the waters of his life." Those other paths may be imagined only with the deepest revulsion. From Yam el-Din, The Book of Judgment. Welcome to Reading Dune, a podcast where we read Dune by Frank Herbert and talk about it. Whether you're a Fremen or a first-time reader, this podcast is for you. My name is Caleb Pauls.
And I am Evan Diaz.
And together, we are going to read some Dune.
Yeah, we are.
Woo!
We made
All
it.
right.
We're here. We're back.
We made it. We back. Sorry for those of you watching live. We know we've been moving things around a little bit because life gets in the way sometimes, but we've made it back to Arrakis.
Yes.
Where it's hot and spicy.
Yeah. And you guys have been really cool about all of that also. So thank you all for being a great tribe.
Yeah. I really like everyone watching live. This is your first time. Hi, good to see you. This is what we look like. If you're listening to this in the future, we hope we can see you live someday. Ooh. Yeah. I just want to say, you guys that show up and listen, and when you write in and you share with us in Discord and on Twitter, you guys really make this easy to do, and why we keep coming back and make sure we spend this hour with us, with you.
I'm gonna cry. Stop.
All right, let's get into reading some Dune. First of all, let's talk about this quote, Evan. I feel like we are the religion that surrounds Paul and Aaliyah is kind of being flushed out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we have this Book of Judgment, which is, just creepy in and of itself. You have the apostles praying, right? "Lord, save us from the other paths which Muad'Dib covers with the water of his life."
Right.
What do you think the religion revolves around, or how does it kind of work from your perspective?
I don't even know because they talk about, it's like my understanding of religions nowadays, there's more or less one thing to each one of them.
Right.
But Muad'Dib is all of them. He's got all of these different aspects of his deity and his godness within the religion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not he came and died for our sins, or he came to teach us the way of XYZ.
Right.
It's everything. Everything about him is, I don't know. And the quotes keep getting more and more fanatical on the religious sense, and chaotic in just the way when you see him as Paul.
Yeah.
So it's it just feels like he's digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper by adding all of this godlikeness to himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a good answer to your question or not. But
I don't think there are no wrong answers here. It's your opinion of it's your first time reading it. I'm on my fifth or sixth time, and I'm still discovering new things. This line of "Lord, save us from the other paths." Right? It's this idea that the religion knows that Muad'Dib can see all time.
So he's choosing the path for all of us.
Yes, he's choosing the right way, and you fall in line with Muad'Dib or die.
Well, you don't really have a choice, do you?
This is the path we're all going on.
Yeah. Well, he's making the decisions. He's
already made the decision.
Yeah.
And if you want something in your life to happen, X, Y, or Z, right? You can go to Aaliyah, the priestess, the goddess, and beseech her to like change the timeline. So look into the future, see what's there, right? There's this whole
yikes.
cult.
Okay.
There's this whole cult around the tarot cards, right? And being a part of a spice orgy a little bit, and like, especially if you're a tourist, like, ooh, I want to go to a spice orgy, see my future, and then you're like, go into this and like try to read the future for yourself. Oh no, I got the sandworm card. What's that mean? I guess I gotta go. Like, there's this whole thing about where your life is going, and I think this is very interesting. And Paul just hates all of this.
Right. He's just been cornered into it. But he's still playing into it, though, Like, he's still saying, I tell you that I come now to my time of testing when it will be shown that I am the ultimate servant. Like, he's still saying stuff like that. So he's clearly, like, letting it happen.
Well, it reminds me of, like in Dune, right? When Jessica, the Adab memory, just pops up and she says the right thing at the exact right time to make everybody go crazy. I feel like he's just tapping into that. All those memories are in there. He knows exactly what to say at any point in time. All the prophecies about the ultimate servant is coming and he will sacrifice himself for the good of all people, like yada, yada, yada. And Paul's like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm here. I'm sacrificing. I have sacrificed things to get us to this point that you don't even know.
Right.
In timelines or yada, yada. Right. And which makes the whole thing even creepier. And he just, also, I love that Paul just also doesn't care. He's just like, I hate all of this. All right. That's our little deep dive into where we think the religion part is.
Woo!
Because that's also going to come up, because the question is, what happens after he's gone? How does this work?
Yeah.
If the conspiracy wins and he dies somehow, right? What their plan, how does that work in the power gaps that follow? All right. So this chapter, Evan, who's in this chapter?
Paul, what's his name? Guys, Banerjee.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say some random like Banerjee, and someone who appears to be Othyems' daughter from way back when, but is actually Scytale.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Spoopy.
Yes. Well, okay. What do we know? Backtrack a little bit for us, Evan. How do we know that Othyems' daughter is Scytale?
In this chapter?
Well, no, like before. Like, how did he take her form? Like, we're going like back to like, I don't know, what is that, chapter 3?
It's like chapter 2 or something. It was like the very beginning. He goes. Scytale shows up at Othyems' house with Duncan Idaho's face on.
No, yeah, he comes to Farouk's house. Othem's the guy next door.
Okay. Yeah, he's Farouk's house. Who Farouk is Farouk the one? Farouk married Othyems.
Farouk had a son.
Oh, okay.
The son was blind and got the girl, but he only got the girl by getting her high.
Yeah.
On the Samuda trance, which then like she was only with him because he was the supplier. And so then Scytale came in. We learned more about how the old Fremen really aren't happy with how the new things are going.
Yeah.
And then Scytale murdered Farouk and then the son. And then
kidnapped Othyems' daughter. Yeah.
Right. And then we find a body in the sand that's a girl that has traces of Samuda in her system that's been killed with this super specialized Tleilaxu assassin poison.
Yeah.
And then, that's when Duncan and Aaliyah, Haight and Aaliyah have their little date. And, right. So there's this girl in the sand, and now she's not in.
Date. What a weird date that was.
They're weird people. I don't think they could have a normal encounter at all.
It's a little CSI Miami / Arrakis date that they had.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then Andrew Floyd says, "Oh, and with that weird catalyst dwarf." Yeah, yeah. That
Oh,
was
okay. Just dropping hints. That's fine. Thanks, Andrew.
bump bump bump. Yeah, yeah. That was in Othyems, and Othym didn't like Farouk anymore, and they like because he lost his daughter and all this other stuff, right? So we've not actually talked to Othym yet, um, but Othym's daughter, which we know is Scytale, has now come to Paul to deliver a message.
Yes.
But she had to go through Chani to get here.
Because Chani knew her and her family.
Yeah. They knew of the whole family from their days in Scytale. So Othym's daughter had been looked over by the head of security. It was confirmed she's the daughter of one of the Emperor's death commandos, one of the high-ranking ones. So Paul is standing behind a desk when Banerjee, our security officer, escorts the young woman in. "Sire," Banerjee said, "my lady Chani said she sent word to you." Paul just nods his head yes. Oddly, the girl didn't look at Paul. Her attention remained on the clock in the room. She was dark-skinned, medium height. Her robe spoke of wealth, and it also concealed her hands. Paul suspected her hands were tightly clasped underneath the robe. That would be in character.
Ah.
Everything about her was in character, including the robe. The last piece of finery saved for this very moment. So yeah, oddly, or I guess Scytale would have just like went through her closet, found the nicest thing, took it with him as he like, because he's been with, where's Scytale been? He's been with Edric as his like henchman.
He has?
This whole
He's
time.
just been hanging out with Edric this whole time?
Yeah.
They had that like whole fight. I didn't know if they were like together that whole time.
Well, yeah, he was with the, when in the chapter, like the Can You Kill a God chapter, Scytale was listening in that whole time as the weird henchman.
Gotcha.
Pushing the fish man in his like
right. I was thinking about the chapter later where they were in a room having the conversation.
Right. Yeah. And that's where he's like, "Where have you been? You need to be at your post." Right. I think this is his post.
Okay.
Maybe. So Paul waved Banerjee aside. The girl took one step forward, still looking at the ground. Paul clears his throat. Slowly, the girl lifts her gaze. Blue within blue eyes. They widened just enough to convey awe and wonder. Everything about her was normal, except the corners of her eyes, which held a faint misting from the Samuda. Everything about her was in character. So Paul asked, "So you asked to see me?" Now was the time. The supreme test for this girl's shape had come. This was the best impersonation Scytale had ever done. And he's like the best of the best.
Yeah.
But here he is in front of the Quizratch Hatterack, the emperor of the known universe, who can bridge time and space. And he is about to try to fool him.
Yeah.
This was Muad'Dib. So, sure. And again, Muad'Dib would have known her back in Scytale.
Right.
So there's even more of a connection. There's even more risky.
Right.
"I am Othym's Lichna of Burk Aldib." Paul just nodded, seeing how easily Chani was even fooled. Everything was perfect about this impersonation, and I must say my voice acting at that too.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Uncanny. I couldn't imagine that character's voice sounding any different.
Well, in my audiobook version, that's like it's not the best version, but it's like these characters are weirdly voiced, and I think it just bleeds in with how I do this. So if Paul didn't have his Bene Gesserit training, or if he didn't have the like oracular vision that enfolded him,
right,
he too would have been fooled by this face dancer.
I like that he wasn't fooled even at all. Like it's like the second he sees this girl walk in, he says, what was the thing? Because he says it over and over again. Everything was in character.
Yeah.
Everything about her is in character. And so he's like,
wow,
they're doing a great job. As soon as she walked in, he's like, wow, this face dancer is very good at what he does.
He's like enjoying it almost.
Yeah.
He's like here for the show. Oh, yes. Yeah, I've seen you've done me. I've seen you do my concubine. Like, this is great. Keep going. Yeah. I want to see how good you can do this. Paul, oh, yeah, here it is. Rest in my home, daughter of Othym, Paul said, in a very formal Fremen greeting. You are welcome as water after a dry crossing. I bring a message, Scytale said. Paul just nods, and Scytale breathed in slowly, gaining their composure. The plan was going perfect. He got here, which was a big step, and he was about to give the message.
Yeah.
He must prod the Atreides to take a special path. Paul must lose Chani in circumstances where no other is to share the blame. The failure must belong only to the omnipotent Muad'Dib. He had to be led into this ultimate realization of his failure, and must be led to accept the Tleilaxu alternative. So, what's the plan here? Can you break down for me, Evan, why is Scytale here, and what is he trying to get Paul to do?
He's trying to get Paul to blame himself for Chani dying so that he'll, I don't know, kill himself or fall apart, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
So he's got to... There's so much in there that I can't get into because there's be other chapters where it's like really revealed.
Yeah.
We'll let that happen when it happens. But this is... Everybody in the conspiracy has played a part. Right? So you have like... Edric's job is to just shield them. He only has one job.
Right.
Then you have Irulan's job, which I think she pretty much failed at. And then you have the Bene Gesserit job, which Muad'Dib took them off the table.
Right.
So now it's up to Scytale. And I don't think the conspiracy's lost at this point. I think this is all part of the plan. The gift has been given. They've set them all up. And now this is the step. I need you to take this step to knock all of the rest of the dominoes down in the trap that we've set up.
Right.
You have to leave and go to this spot to meet a certain somebody, which we don't know yet, and then everything will fall into place.
Right.
So Scytale starts with an old Fedaykin code phrase. I am the smoke which banishes sleep in the night, which basically just means I have bad news.
Yeah.
Paul keeps his calm, but he feels naked. Probably because he powerful oracles have kept this face dancer hidden from him. He knew there was something, but he never saw who or where or when.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh. And only the edges of this moment does Paul know. He doesn't know anything else. He knows that he cannot kill this face dancer, because if he did, that future is even more catastrophic.
Right.
So somehow a way must be found to reach into this darkness and change this terrifying pattern, the dominoes that have been lined up. Paul just replies, all right, give me the message. Banerjee then shuffles across the room so he can see the girl's face because he's obviously eavesdropping and he wants to see what she's going to say. She seems to notice Banerjee for the first time. She looks down at Banerjee's hands, which obviously are very close to his knife. Because he's I don't know if he's... Yeah, I think we're going to go into Banerjee's backstory a little bit, but he's definitely not Fremen. He's come from someplace else. He
has smuggler blood, is what they said.
Yeah, he's converted.
Yeah.
To be into this. So his level of devotion is a whole other level to get to this station.
Right.
So of course he's ready to kill her at any moment. The innocent do not believe in evil, she said, looking squarely at the head of security. Paul thought to himself, well done. Very nice. Because this is exactly what the real daughter of Othym would do. Paul then felt a pang for the real daughter of Othym, dead somewhere out in the sand. But this was no time for emotions. Paul just scowled. Scytale, as Othym's daughter, says, I was told to deliver my message in secret. So Banerjee asks, why? Paul responds, this is my friend. Am I not a Fremen? Then my friend may hear anything I hear. Scytale wonders, is this a test? Is this a true Fremen custom? I was not prepared for this. Like, oh crap, everything's about to be ruined if I don't say the right thing.
Right.
So, Scytale
thinks he's doing such a good job. He thought he was like, I'm killing it right now. And then this happened. He's like,
So Scytale just responds to saying, the Emperor may make his own rules. This is the message. My father wishes you to come to him. Oh, and bring Chani.
Sus.
Paul's like, why Chani?
Yeah, weird.
Okay. Why does she need to go? Scytale says, she is your woman and a Sayadina. This is a water matter by the rules of our tribe. She must attest it that my father speaks according to the Fremen way. Thomas Wright on YouTube says, are you a cop?
Are you a cop?
Yeah.
Did you know he was a cop?
That's funny. So, right, the whole thing is like, we need Chani to go there because she's your woman and she's a Saidina and this is a water matter. Like pulling all the old tricks out of the hat.
Yeah.
Paul thought to himself and wondered, maybe the Fremen are also involved in the conspiracy in some way. Which, have we seen any Fremen involved in the conspiracy yet?
No. Have we? Did I miss it?
Not at the moment. We have Farouk's grumblings.
Yeah, Farouk was salty, but that was it. But then he got shanked, so it's like
he's not a part of it. We have Korba. Would Korba be a part of the conspiracy?
No, Korba was like a fanboy.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate convert, acolyte, apostle of Muad'Dib.
Yeah, I mean, just the general vibe that we got from the veterans, though, in that episode with Farouk was like, this is trash. Everything is awful, and this is not the way we should be living.
This is what happens when you get everything you want.
It makes sense, but I don't know.
Okay, just want to clarify, we don't have any Fremen involved yet, or in the conspiracy.
That we know of.
Right, that we know of. This moment fitted the shape of things to come, for sure. Like, Paul knew. He's like, okay, this fits what I think I know is coming, but there's no alternative for him to commit himself, so he has to go through with it. So Scytale says, Othym says there is a plot among the Fremen, and Paul has to go to him because the plotters think Othym's involved. Which is sus.
Yeah.
For sure. So Banerjee asks the great question, if Othym's involved, why didn't Othym just come? If he's loyal and there's people plotting against him, why risk his daughter on such a mission? Scytale says that the details are locked in a distrans carrier that only Muad'Dib may open, and the distrans is human. That's all she knows. All right, so let's go back over. What is a distrans, Evan?
Distrans is a message hidden away inside a person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it could also not be a person?
Could be an animal.
Like a donkey?
Like a bat. I think they used to carry messages back and forth.
A little when they like whisper at the bat and send it flying. Yeah.
Right. However, but now humans are used, but now also some humans don't even know they're carriers of a message.
Right.
Until it gets unlocked. And then it just comes on out.
That's awesome.
And they're like, whoa, Okay, cool. So, and the distrans that Scytale says only Muad'Dib can open, and it's a human one. So he's got to find the human distrans to do that. And I'm going to bring this up now in our Discord. In the last chapter about Scytale, the Farouk one, I think, Sugarwire brought up this really good fact that the ancient Greeks had a thing called Scytale, which it means it's a message or encryption, or it's like a decryption technology that is used between army commanders. So I'm going to try to describe this to you, but it's if you would have one long string or like leather band, right? When there's letters on each of it, you'd have to know exactly where to put it and roll it in the wooden cylinder to spell out exactly what the message is.
Oh,
so it's like two types of encryption. You have to know where to start it at and how to roll it.
Yeah.
In order for it to say attack tomorrow.
Right.
Or just can pop up random, and it would take forever to figure out if you didn't know the secret code. Mm-hmm. So Scytale actually literally is this device. So I just think it's funny how this is this distrans in ancient technology now being used again in the far-flung future in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks, Sugarwire.
Yeah, that was really cool. I didn't know that. I was like, awesome.
Knowledge.
There's so many good people who know a lot more about Dune than I do, and I'm so thankful to all of you. So we are reading Dune together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Paul says, all right, I'll go. I'll go see Othym, but he's going to go alone. Scytale rebuttals immediately. Chani must come with you. Paul says, Chani's with child. And his enemies have fed her a poison, so it'll make it a difficult birth. So she's not going to go. She's not going to leave. She's going to be kept in full safety all the time. Strange motions passed over the girl's face. They happened too fast for Scytale to stop them. Frustration, anger. And I love how, I can't imagine how this would happen. It's probably just like, because he can't control it. He's just angry or frustrated real fast. But he can also change his face.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess a facial expression of an emotion would be harder to stop than the physical changing of your face.
Right,
you know
right.
I mean?
Yeah. It's just a gut reaction. I was not expecting you to say that.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
And which is, Paul, Bene Gesserit trained, can see everything.
Right.
Read your face perfectly. So, but Scytale remained just calm. He just brief moment there. And he was reminded that in the Tleilaxia way, every trap, the victim always must be allowed a way of escape. Mm-hmm. Even Muad'Dib. Otherwise, it's not a fair trap.
Right.
So, the conspiracy had not failed, even if Chani didn't go. The Atreides still remained in the net. Muad'Dib was a creature who had developed firmly into one pattern, and Muad'Dib must destroy himself before changing into the opposite of that pattern. This was how the Tleilaxia destroyed their Kwisatz Haderach, and that's how Scytale believed this Kwisatz Haderach would fall as well. And then they would have to address the Gola. There's still the Gola that's still in play. So Scytale tried again, begging, "Let me ask Chani to decide this." Paul's like, no, I've decided it. I'm the Emperor. Better yet, you will accompany me in Chani's stead. Boxed, Scytale thought. Damn, they got me. I wasn't seeing that coming. The girl just says, "My father told me I was not to return, but to seek asylum with you. He said you'd not risk me."
Sus.
This whole thing is sus. The whole thing is just bad.
Highly suspect.
Paul just nodded. This was also beautifully in character, because he also would not deny this asylum, especially of somebody of his old Fedaykin. Like, this is perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, he would do that. He's the most powerful person in the universe. He's going to protect those around him. So Paul's like, all right, how about Hera go in Chani's place? So Othym's second wife? Wait, right? No, but that doesn't work. So then he says, well, maybe Othym's second wife will serve in Chani's place.
Right.
Right? We're just going to pick women who know the rights, who are close enough to the situation that are going to work. That's not Chani. At that, Paul motioned to Banerjee that Othym's daughter was to be taken to suitable quarters. AKA, we've decided Chani's not going. Othym's second wife is going to do it. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, he uses a special word in there, doesn't he?
What word?
Okay, wait. Let me find it. Because I remember it, and I thought it was cool. Okay. He's like, blah blah blah. This lady will serve in Chani's place. Have attendants take Othym's Lichna to suitable quarters. And Banerjee nodded. Attendants. The keyword meant this messenger must be put under special guard. So like the fact that he said attendants was like little secret code.
Dun, dun, dun. Like, she doesn't leave. Everyone watches her. She's shifty, and and she could be anybody. So don't let her leave your sight. So one of the attendants took Scytale's arm. She resisted, pleading with Paul. How will you go to my father? Paul says that, perfect. She will tell Banerjee the way, and Banerjee will then tell Paul, who will find a guide, to take Paul to Othym. Sounds great. But then Paul just says, well, if that doesn't work, he'll just go alone. Sire, if you, Banerjee pleaded. Paul just said, Othym wants it this way. He just fully playing into character now. Like, I'm just doing what the message said. We're cool. He could barely conceal the irony, which just consumed his entire body at this moment. Reluctantly, Banerjee then led the face dancer from the room. Paul turned around in his chair. He felt that he waited for the arrival of a rock on its blind journey from some height. I read that and immediately thought, the moon! The moon! He wondered if he should tell Banerjee about the messenger's true nature, but then was like, nah. Such an incident hadn't been written on the screen of his vision. Any deviation here carried sudden violence, so he's got to play it cool. But he has to find a fulcrum, a moment where he can use leverage, pull it, and win on top. Someplace where he could will himself out of the vision he saw before him. And if only such a moment existed. Bum, bum, bum. And thus ends chapter 15. The trap has all been laid out. We are done with the exposition part of the book. And now we are...
Finally.
Well, I mean, yeah, for Dune, it took a long time.
It's Frank.
Right.
You know?
I feel like with Dune, we had to get to 25 before we were out the door.
Yeah.
We're doing great. We're at 15.
Yeah. It's like 30 chapters were one day.
Yeah, right.
24-hour day.
Gosh. Yeah, so here we've got a lot more time pass. Chani's pregnant. Things are happening. The goal is in place. He's constantly questioning his nature. Paul's like, all right, I know something crap's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do, so we're just going to take a step. And he's going to walk by himself to Othym to see what's going to happen. And that's
Here we go.
Here we go.
This chapter was funny. Literally, Paul just knew what was happening the whole time. And Scytale thought he was doing such a good job. Just like, you're not doing a good job. You're doing great, bud, but I see what's happening. You know?
Oh, gosh. Barbara Baker said, loaded God complex, cocket, and poet. Is that a Fall Out Boy reference? That's great.
It sure is.
Wow. Top notch.
Perfect.
Perfectly
placed. Wow.
Thank you, everybody, for reading Dune with us. You can find us on Twitter at Reading Dune. Email us at your favorite moments at readingdune@gmail.com. Join the Discord. Hang out with us. If you're way in front of us, we have people to talk about all the different books in the Discord. You are not alone in Reading Dune. You've obviously made it this far. And thank you so much. And remember to stay spicy, my friends.
Yeah.
Stay spicy.
Peace.